No one is buried in our concrete, period, end of that urban legend. How many died? The real answer is we're not sure, because a good number of the personnel records were destroyed early on. We will state 96 official deaths occurred, and that key word there, official. That meant they received death benefits, on average $500. Let's be real world history. True number of dead? Most probably in the many hundreds. Why the difference? It looks like the majority of the dead were kind of unlucky. They were still breathing when the ambulance took them away. You had to die on site, on the job, or your death had nothing to do with your work. Zero death benefits. And we still have a few positions available if anyone's interested. I've heard stories such as the man having the heart accident, still breathing, ambulance coming, co-workers, his friends knew what would happen to his family. Somehow the man's breathing stopped before the ambulance arrived. Different times. Next question I usually get is, where am I? Right there. That's where you are right now. In one of the 4 original diversion tunnels used to divert the water around the construction of this place. Now, let's make believe it's early on in construction. So early, none of this middle stuff exists yet, just empty space. So early on, besides the 4 diversion tunnels, they also need to construct 2 temporary dams, mainly made of rock and gravel. That allowed them to pump the water out in between the temporary dams, getting the work site nice and dry. And then they excavated it and carted away a few million years worth of river muck and silt, hitting bedrock, repairing that. And then they built everything you see here, including the dam itself, in just under 5 years. With dam in place, they then pretty much destroyed the temporary dams and closed the entrances to the 4 diversion tunnels using 400 feet or 120 meters long plugs of concrete. Now they could concentrate on the upriver portion. The Colorado River, this location pre-dam at most, was approximately 50 feet or 15 meters deep during flood. But by using the surrounding canyon rock walls as if they were a bathtub, and the new dam as if it was a plug in the rock bathtub, allowed them over a 6.5-year period, while still delivering water downriver, to turn a 50 feet deep river into one of over 500 feet or 150 meters depth, forming Lake Mead, the largest man-made lake, reservoir, bathtub in the country, and even in nature, a lake and river can be one and the same. But what you see on this diagram, as well as what you see with your own eyes when you're up above looking at the beautiful water, is a very small portion. Lake Mead actually has a 550-mile or 880-kilometer shoreline, and it's 115 miles or 185 kilometers in length. If you got to the other side of Lake